Our shared history. Australia's history extends beyond 1788, when the first fleet of new arrivals from England set foot on the sands of Bottany Bay. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have inhabited Australia since millennia, and their cultures, laws, ceremonies and connection to the land is strong and enduring. Many Australians seem to think that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples surrendered their country without a fight. In fact, there were significant wars and battles between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander and non-Indigenous people. At least, and probably more than, Aboriginal and Torres Strait people died at the hands of colonizers, and around, colonizers died at the hands of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Many Australians seem to think that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples surrendered their country without a fight. In fact, there were significant wars and battles between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander and non-Indigenous people. At least, and probably more than, Aboriginal and Torres Strait people died at the hands of colonizers, and around, colonizers died at the hands of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. As in all wars, these figures are just the tip of the iceberg. In addition to the deaths, countless others suffered injury and trauma, and the fear that comes from hearing of the killings of other people. These include massacres that were in retaliation to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander resistance, such as the Pinjarra Massacre, successful raids by Aboriginal and Torres Strait people on white settlers, such as the Fefil Massacre, and ongoing local wars, such as the Yolngu Wars and the Bunuba Resistance. The numbers of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who died in these conflicts are often disputed, but the fact that the conflicts took place is not disputed. Although there wasn't a declared, large-scale war, there was significant resistance. Often, organizing this resistance was hard. Massacres like Bathurst, Pinjarra and Flying Foam were designed to decimate resistance by killing men, women and children in dramatic and overwhelming reprisal for signs of resistance. In the Kimberley, some pastoralists created a workforce for themselves by killing men of the land, and capturing their women and children who were forced into compliance. Other pastoralists negotiated respectfully with landowners to engage them as a workforce on their own land. The indigenous resistance is often forgotten. It seems that, today, we don't know what to call this part of our history. Thousands died. How did they die? Murder. Massacres. Guerrilla warfare. It is a gap in our history. We don't read of its heroes or its victims in our history books, or see memorials to them on our streets.